Hello, my name is Mårf and I'm playing For Honor. Since this is the first video, I want to clarify some things about the game, what the game is about, what classes there are, make up sort of a tier list that's around in the internet and in my own mind, I guess. I'm gonna leave some annotations to skip to the class things and the gameplay, so if you know this game a bit, you don't need to watch the full thing. So first I want to talk about what this game is. It's a medieval fighting game. There's several heroes you can play as. Right now there's 12. There's 4 knights, 4 vikings, and 4 samurai. Um, those are the fractions that exists. And basically, at the beginning of the game, you pick a faction and you fight for that faction on this map. Every time you do a match, you get war assets and you can deploy them on these rectangles to fight for land. As you can see, there's a end of round timer up here. Every time this runs out, the winner is decided by the faction who holds the most land, and they get a bonus. Like they get currency, which is steel, and they get loot packages, which contains items for whatever class you choose them to open for. I'm in the knight faction, so far we haven't won yet. First round the Vikings won, and second round the Samurai won. So I don't really know what those bonuses are, but maybe we'll find out someday. Um, the classes are divided in sort of their preferences or their fighting style, I guess. The first column is vanguards. They are usually well balanced for single combat or fighting against multiple foes. They are like the jack of all trades. They can do basically anything. They have good HP, they have good damage, they have alright speed. The second column are the heavies. They usually have a good defense. They usually, well, not really. I wanted to say they usually hit pretty hard, and as you can see, like on the Conqueror, it says hard hitter, but that's not really accurate. The Shagoki, though, he hits really hard, but he's also very slow. Defensive heroes are always pretty slow. Then we have the Assassins. They are the fastest classes. They are designed for 1v1 combat. I will get into that later if they are actually good in 1v1 combat, but let's just say that's the case right now. They have superior dodging, like they dodge faster, they attack very fast, they have good damage, but they also have very low HP. And on the last column, we have the hybrids. They are sort of a merging of 2 other classes, and that merging is different for each one you see right here. For the knights, the Lawbringer would be a merge of a vanguard and a heavy. The Valkyrie would be a merge of an assassin and not really a heavy, but maybe in fighting style, since she has a shield and she does bashes, which is usually a thing that the heavies do. She is more of an assassin though, with very little heavy influence, I guess. She has low HP or normal HP. I don't actually know. I don't play Valkyrie. But she hits very fast. She doesn't hit for a lot of damage, but yeah. I'm gonna go into that later. And then we have a Nobushi, which is sort of a mix of the assassin and the vanguard. Again, it's more like an assassin, but she has the long range of the Kensei, which he is the only guy in the vanguards who actually has that range advantage. As you can even see on the keywords, it says adaptable, straightforward, and on Kensei it says adaptable, good range. So yeah, then about the game itself, or how you play it, I'm gonna just go into dual practice, which is sort of an endless mode where I can just show you stuff, I guess. My personal main is the Lawbringer. As I said, I'm gonna talk about tier lists, and I guess I'm gonna talk about my main as well, what strengths and weaknesses he has. But yeah, as I said, the Lawbringer is sort of a Vanguard heavy mix. He has high HP, I think the second highest in the game actually. He has very slow attacks or slow-ish attacks. He can't change his guard very fast. I'm gonna go into that in a bit. I'm just gonna block while I'm talking right now. And he hits not very hard, except in some cases. So, as you can see, we have this triangle on my character that indicates where I'm blocking. You can block in 3 directions, and you can also attack from 3 directions. There's light and there's heavy attacks. This raider who I'm fighting against currently only does heavy attacks. Heavy attacks go through block a bit. As you can see, I lost HP. Not a whole lot. He threw like 10 attacks at me and I lost like, what, 30 maybe? Which would be like 3 damage per hit, I guess. And I have 150 HP? I don't actually know. I don't know the numbers too well. Anyway, that's the thing. So I can light attack, which beats his heavy attack. I can parry, which is that. You see the icon on the raider, the red icon when he attacks, is flashing in like the last quarter of a second. During that time, you can initiate your own heavy attack to counter his heavy attack, which opens him up for counterplay. The Lawbringer is actually very focused around that. The other thing is you can guard break. It's usually meant to be a mechanic. I'm gonna dodge for a bit as long as I can, so this guy doesn't like kill me before I'm done talking, even though that wouldn't really matter too much. I'm just gonna run around here. You can guard break, which is meant to open up people who only block and try to parry. Basically, it doesn't matter where their block is facing, the guard break will go through, but you can push your own guard break button to counteract it. There is certain situations where you cannot do that. For instance, if you just got parried, you cannot counter a guard break because you're sort of in a recovery state. Same when you just dodged. When somebody catches you during a dodge with a guard break, you cannot counter it. Except if your name is Raider, actually. Because Raider has the advantage, he can guard break out of a dodge, and he can also counter guard break out of a dodge, but that's like a special thing. Nobody else has that, I think. I'm gonna go into this list. Maybe I should have done that before. I'm gonna go into this list. Every hero has a moveset. The moveset for the Lawbringer looks long, but it's simpler than it looks right here. I play it with mouse and keyboard. So the left button would be a light attack, the right button would be a heavy attack. V is my sprint button. This symbol just means guard up. This symbol means that an attack connects. This means parrying. This means blocking. This is obviously my movement. This is dodging. And control is my guard break button. So you have a few combos to work with. For instance, light, heavy, light, light, heavy, 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 light, heavy. And then this thing, which is a heavy, light, heavy, but top, and then you can confirm that into a light, which is unblockable. It doesn't show it's unblockable, but it is, I think. Pretty sure. There is some stuff that you do not in guard mode, as you can see. Currently, I'm not in guard mode. I don't have that triangle on me, and I can't block right now. And if I press middle mouse button, I go into guard mode, and I can start blocking stuff. So some attacks, like the Impaling Charge, I can show that off right now, are out of guard mode. Like I rush at him, okay, he blocked it. Okay, yeah, good that happened, because now I can talk about stamina, I guess. You see that green bar that fills up rapidly? That's my stamina. I use it up when I attack, when I block, I think. Wait, do I lose some when I block? I don't... No, okay. Oops, that hit me. But you lose it by attacking, you lose it by getting parried, by getting shoved, by a number of things. If you're out of stamina, you cannot sprint, you walk very slowly, you attack very, very slowly, you cannot feint attacks, which is something I will talk about later. Or in a bit, I guess. You cannot feint attacks, your guard breaks are very slow. Basically, you become slower and some things aren't accessible to you. Also, if you are out of stamina, and you get parried or thrown, I can show off a throw real quick. Whoops. Come on, do something, thanks. So now I have him, I can throw him somewhere after a guard break. Usually what you do after a guard break, like right now he's out of stamina, so if I throw him he lies on the ground and I can go for like a heavy attack, which he cannot block. If he has stamina though, and I try to guard break him, I would usually go for side heavy, on Lawbringer that is. The only times you really throw is to either throw somebody off the arena, throw him into a map hazard, or throw him into a wall which staggers him for a bit, and then you can go for heavier attacks. For instance, if I get close to this wall behind me, and I shove, guard, okay, this might be too far away. Yeah, okay. If he would have hit the wall there, he would have been staggered for like an extra second or something, and that allows me to get some attacks in, which he could normally block. Let's try that again. I'm gonna go for it again. Okay, now he's out of stamina, so I actually don't want to throw him. Because he would not hit the wall, he would just fall to the ground. Okay, let's not shove him and just go for guard break now. Whoops. Let's try again. He's very close to the wall. It's hard to actually show off what I'm trying to do. Oh, he was out of stamina. Anyway, he would have gotten staggered if I actually managed to throw him into the wall without him being out of stamina or too far away. What else? So to show off combos, I can go for like the, I guess, signature combo of Lawbringer, which would be a light into a heavy into an unblockable heavy. Unblockables are just that. You cannot block them. You can do everything else to them. You can dodge them, you can parry them. You just cannot block them, and they tend to do a lot of damage. What you saw me doing during the end, when I killed him, was an execution. Every time you kill somebody with a heavy attack, except when they're lying on the ground, you get the option to execute them, which starts a little animation, and regains you some HP and all of your stamina. So I can show that off again. I hope this doesn't kill him. Oh, it killed him. Okay, never mind. So yeah. Then there's some stuff which is a little bit... So these are the basic combos. I can do them whenever. Then there's some conditional stuff, like doing stuff out of a parry. You just saw me doing this thing, impaling riposte. I parried him, and then I like impaled him on my spear and shoved him into the wall. You can do an unblockable after parrying. You can do a light attack after parrying, and you can do a zone attack after parrying. I didn't talk about zone attacks. Zone attacks happen when you press both light and heavy at the same time. They look like this, and they are designed to hit everybody around you. In practice, that's not really what they do. I'm gonna go into that later. There's also the long arm, which I can show off if this guy starts running at me. I can like pick him up and throw him behind me. It consumes a lot of his stamina. This is the light riposte. And the heavy top riposte. Come on. Would be this. Deals a lot of damage, 45 I believe. Each bar of HP is 25 HP. I think? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that's the basics, I guess. Oh yeah, feinting. If you do a heavy attack, you can feint it. At first I didn't do it much. Okay, here's the execution. You see I regain my HP and stamina. How much HP you regain depends on the total length of the animation. I'm getting sidetracked here, but I'm gonna finish this. If you execute somebody with that, they cannot be revived by teammates. The main reason to play this game, I guess, are duels, but there's also some teamfight modes, and if somebody gets killed, you can revive them, but if they get executed or thrown off the map, you cannot revive them. Fainting. So, as I started playing this game, I didn't faint a lot. I didn't actually do it ever, I guess. But fainting becomes very important when you sort of get into higher tier of play, because people will try to parry your attacks, because parrying enables them to get guaranteed damage in. So what you do is you throw out a heavy attack and then you cancel it, which will bait them into trying to parry. But since there's not an attack anymore, they're not going to parry, they're going to do their own heavy attack, which then you can capitalize on by either getting a light attack in, by getting a fast guard break in, or to go for a parry yourself. Also, what you cannot see, but what I do with all my overhead heavy attacks is I stun my enemy. Stunning doesn't impair them from movement or blocking or anything, but it makes them unable to see the fighting UI, so they cannot see where my attacks are coming from for like a second or so. The thing about Lawbringer is most of his attacks are, you can see kind of clearly in the animation itself where the attack is coming from. So stunning an opponent is usually not that much an issue. The only thing where it's pretty good is if you go with a heavy top into like a light to the left, because then the Lawbringer does like a spin and it's hard to see what's going on. So yeah, feints. Of course, there's a lot more to fighting. There's a lot of in higher level play. I don't want to sell myself that I'm really higher level, or like I am higher level, but I'm not a high tier fighter. Mind games become very important later on in the game. You want to figure out what your opponent is good with, what he is bad with, and then capitalize on that knowledge. Bait him into doing the things he's comfortable with to well, basically to know what he's gonna do. Like, if I know that somebody parries a lot, I'm gonna feint, so he's going to try for the parries. If I then notice that he doesn't actually go through with it, that if he tries a parry attempt and he cancels it, I'm gonna try to capitalize on that by guard breaking and so on. You will see when I play, I guess. Yeah, I think that's it for this. So, as I said, like, if I play against a spot, I can just do whatever, right? And most of the time it's gonna work. But later on, like, combos like this are not gonna work, at least in most cases. You can throw them in, like, maybe once a match to completely throw your, like, to catch your opponent off guard, but most of the time they will fail. I guess that's it about the basics of the game. How long have I been talking? Oh, about 20 minutes now, okay. Now I'm gonna go a bit more into the characters. Wait, I'm gonna... This exclamation mark triggers me. I have to, like, check out stuff. Hover over it so it goes away. Okay, there we go. First off, you see these levels. Basically, a level 1 with a gray circle means I've never actually played this in multiplayer. So there's 2 right now which I have never played, which is the Berserker and the Valkyrie. Then it starts filling and the number goes up to 20. So for instance, the Shogoki, if I level him up once more, the number will be 20, and if I level it up once more, it doesn't go to 21, it goes to Prestige 1. Prestige 1, you see here on the Warden, I get this fancy 1, and then the leveling starts again. Again to level 21, and then I would get Prestige 2. As you can see on my Lawbringer, which is by far my most played character, I'm at Prestige 3 with 8 levels, so that equals to... Well, since 1 Prestige is 21, 3 Prestiges means 63, so we're at 71, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Talking about uh, tiers. Um, I'm not a fighting game expert, but I need to drink something. I'm actually talking a lot. I'm not a fighting game expert, mm, but in basically every fighting game you have a tier list because just because characters are so different. There will always be characters who are better than others. Um, so I was actually thinking about this a bit, and I'm gonna go with 4 tiers. Tier 1 being like god tier. These characters are the go-to characters if you just want to try hard and win your games. Tier 2 being top tier, like very solid characters that can compete with the god tier characters, but are just have some weaknesses that make them a little bit less good, or maybe not weaknesses, but don't have certain things in their toolkit that make them as good as the god tier characters. Tier 3 would be, I guess, normal characters, I would want to say. Just okay characters with no really obvious weaknesses, or mechanics that counteract their weaknesses. And then tier 4 would be like trash tier, like characters that are so bad on so many fronts that I don't know, that you are at an immediate disadvantage when you go into a match. Um, so let's talk about this. So let's start at the highest tier, um, which would be probably okay. Just a short disclaimer. This is like my own personal experience coupled with things I saw on the internet, things I heard streamers say, and but mostly this is with my own influence, and this might not be too accurate, or it might not be what the majority thinks, but it's sort of accurate. So let's start. So god tier characters would be the Conqueror, which I'm currently hovering on, the Warden, and the Warlord. Um, so what makes them god tier is it's a bit different for Warden, but Conqueror and Warlord are good because of their bashes. The Warlord has a headbutt attack, which doesn't deal damage but staggers the enemy for a bit, and the Conqueror has a shield bash. Um, both of these characters can confirm their bashes into a light attack. Confirming just means that the attack is guaranteed. If you get the bash off, you also get the attack off, and there's nothing that can stop you. Except maybe like a third player running in and whacking you while you're trying to do it. But in a 1v1 situation, nothing would stop you from doing this. The Warlord, of course, headbutting isn't guaranteed. You can always dodge it, but the Warlord's headbutt is very fast, and so in his moveset, he needs to dodge forward and then guard break to do his headbutt. But if effectively he doesn't need to dodge forward, he can just dodge and headbutt immediately, and you won't even see that he has dodged. He will just do the headbutt. He also can do some. He gets hyper armor on his heavy attacks. He hyper armor means he can't be interrupted. He um, he can parry with his light attacks. He has a full block stance. Full block means he can press a button, it will consume some of his stamina, and he blocks in all 3 directions. And he can use this as a riposte, sort of. If somebody attacks him, he presses the button and blocks an attack with it. He can immediately counterplay on that and get guaranteed attacks in. Conqueror isn't as fast with his shield bashes, but he is very safe doing so. If you dodge a shield bash and try to grab him, he will be able to. He will usually be able to just tech it. Teching means counteracting the guard break by pressing his own guard break, which nullifies the guard break. So he's very safe. He doesn't hit very hard, but chances are he hits you multiple times before you get attacks in. He also interrupts So if you block a light attack, your combo will get interrupted. But if you block a heavy attack, usually the combo won't get interrupted. However, Conqueror will always interrupt combos by just blocking them. The only exceptions are unblockable because, well, they're not blockable. Yeah, there's some more in-depth things about these characters I'm talking about, but I'm trying to not take too much time. Warden is good because, again, Warden has a bash, which is a shoulder bash, and that shoulder bash confirms into 2 light attacks. But the bash is easy to dodge, so what makes Warden good? The thing about Warden is Warden can Vortex, which basically means Warden can do a combo and then, without breaking the combo, start again at the beginning of the combo and do it again. So Warden could shoulder bash, double light attack, shoulder bash, double light attack, shoulder bash, double light attack, and so on. So what stops you from dodging the shoulder bashes is Warden also has mix-ups. Mix-ups are basically situations where you can you do something, and out of that something that you do, you have multiple options what to do next. For instance, or about Warden, the thing is, you don't need to shoulder bash if you charge up a shoulder bash. You can actually convert it into a guard break. As I said earlier, guard breaks beat dodging. So if your opponent tries to dodge the shoulder bash, which you're currently charging up, you can convert your shoulder bash into a guard break and catch them off guard. You can also stop a shoulder bash. You can just stop doing it and maybe bait your enemy into attacking, which you can then parry. Stuff like that. So Warden has vortexes and mix-ups. Warden also has very fast light attacks. And very damaging heavy attacks. If it was not all of these things, I guess Warden would be sort of fine, but Warden gets a lot of tools and a lot of damage, just a lot of things Warden can do. So, okay, that was that about these 3. So now we move on to the second tier, which would be top tier, I guess. Let me think about this for a bit. I would see Peacekeeper, Valkyrie, and Shugoki there. Peacekeeper, just because she has immense damage of guard breaks. She can stab you 3 times and apply bleed for, like, I don't know, 45 damage. That is a lot for just a guard break. Also, Peacekeeper has very fast attacks, and there is currently not really an exploit, but a thing people have figured out. If you actually whiff your first light attack, you just let it go off in the air, and then go for your second light attack. The second light attack will be, it's the fastest attack in the game, and it's so fast that most people cannot react to it. They have to guess where that second attack is coming from, or they have to back off. Valkyrie got a buff recently, which made her attack very fast. She has one of the longest combos she can execute. She can hit you like 3 times, then bash you, then throw you on the ground, then hit you with a heavy attack, and I don't know. I don't know a lot about Valkyrie, and I know that the throw on the ground thing is dodgeable, but if you don't play against Valkyrie a lot, chances are you get a lot of damage in. I think Valkyrie is one of the classes I have the most trouble dodging basic attacks. That might just be me, though. Shugoki is good because, well, he hits very hard and he also has hyper armor, which means he can ignore 1 damage instance, like, for sake of interruption. He still takes the damage, but he will not flinch. So if somebody goes for a light attack and the Shugoki goes for a heavy attack, the light attack will hit him, he will take a bit of damage, but also the heavy attack will go off, and chances are that the opposing character cannot react to it. So he's very good at trading. He also has a special grab, which is like a back breaker attack where he grabs somebody, puts them over his shoulders and breaks their back. And that deals, first off, it deals a lot of damage. Second, he heals if he hits. He damages himself if he misses, but he can set up situations where he cannot miss. And third off, if he is at critical HP, which I believe is below 25, that thing will one-shot. It will literally deal 10,000 damage. That's not just some number I just pulled out of a hat, but that's the exact number he will deal, at least according to damage spreadsheets I've seen on Reddit. Yeah. So that grab, for instance, if he throws you into a wall, he can get it confirmed. So every time he gets a guard break near a wall, he can make an HP difference of what, like 70, 80? That's quite a lot of throwing somebody in the wall. Okay, so that were those three. So far we got them nice and easy in pair of threes. Let's go to the third tier, which is OK characters, and I think we have 4 characters there, which would be Kensei, Berserker, Orochi, and Nobushi. There's nothing really special about these characters. They are all-around good fighters. They can get a lot of damage in, but they just lack really powerful tools to break any opponent open. They don't have that guessing game going on that other characters have, and they also don't have that speed that that's like Valkyrie and Peacekeeper have. They are quite, like most of them are quite speedy. Kensei has very, very dangerous feints, and Berserker is very high punish damage, and Orochi and Nobushi are overall just very fast attackers, but they are just not as good as the others. And then in the trash tier currently, I'm talking about patch 1.03, by the way. In the trash tier currently, we got Raider and Lawbringer. As you can see, I main Lawbringer. I just like the character, and I hope he gets a little buff. I don't even want a serious buff. I want, like, his guard timings improved. I'm gonna talk about that later. But okay, what's the reason for these two to be trashed here? Basically, they're very slow. They lack this mix-up game that most other characters have. Actually, that's only the case for Lawbringer. Raider has some mix-ups. If you would ask me, I would guess Lawbringer is... Well, it's situational, I guess. But I think Lawbringer tends to be actually the worst character in the game right now, but it's a close one between those two. Raider has immense damage on punishes. His zone attack is unblockable. Speaking of zone attacks, Warden has a really good, really fast zone attack. I forgot to mention that. He has unblockable zone attacks, which he can also feint. And he can grab out of a dodge, which is very useful for him. He can also feint all of his heavy attacks into a top light, which is a strength, but also kind of dangerous, because if people... the top light will stun, by the way, but it's not the fastest, and if people see it coming, they can parry it, and parrying a light attack is better than parrying a heavy attack. Heavy attacks open you up for guard breaks and light attacks, but light parries open you up for so much more. They open you up for like the heaviest of all attacks. Lawbringer, he has high HP. He is very slow, even his light attacks aren't the fastest. By far the fastest attack he has is his top light, but most people will just guard top right permanently against Lawbringer, and you have to go for, like, you can't go for the top lights anymore. So he has very slow attacks. He struggles to get confirmed damage. He can get a confirmed side heavy off guard break, but you have to hit that guard break first. he can get a confirmed light of a heavy parry. He can get a confirmed light of his long arm, which is the flip I did earlier. But speaking of long arm, if you dodge long arm, the Lawbringer is open up for punishment for a very long time. You can easily get a heavy attack in to punish Lawbringer who tries to go for long arm. The only really good thing Lawbringer has is his shove. I'm pretty sure he's the only character that can shove out of a normal blocked attack. So you don't even have to parry or set up an all guard position like Conqueror and Warlord. You can just shove every time you block something. That shove is guaranteed, but after that shove, nothing is guaranteed. Your light attacks can be blocked, a guard break can be teched, long arm can be dodged. Yeah. It takes a bit of enemy stamina, and it's a good tool to keep them out of stamina if they ever lose it, but it just doesn't confirm into anything. But at least he has that mix-up option. While what he does after shove is usually pretty slow, at least he has the option to take one of the options and see if the enemy reacts to it. I've been talking a lot, haven't I? Okay. Maybe that's enough. Yeah. So right now I'm gonna jump into some matches and we'll just see how it goes, I guess. There's some quests in this game which give you currency and experience for your heroes. Right now I would be inclined to do brawl matches because I have a quest for it, but I think for starters we'll just go into duel matches. Let me just drink another sip. Actually, you know what? This is probably a good situation to cut off the video and upload it as an introductory video to the game. And then my second upload will be actual gameplay, I guess. So, I'm gonna cut it here, and then make a second recording and jump right into the game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. If you don't know the game, I hope this helped you understand what this game is about, and what you're about to see. And see you the next time. Bye bye.